I know I'm not a big man, but I feel tiny next to you. This is fun. All the way from his cabin in quarantine, we have Luke joining us on the show today. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you doing? How are you surviving all this craziness?
You know what? My life is pretty normal because I'm still coming in and going to work every day. Because get this, Luke, my job is considered essential.
Oh,
I know,
you've probably
right?
been wanting to feel like that for your entire life.
Absolutely. For the first time, I don't envy out-of-work rock stars, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right.
Well, yeah, like that brings up a good point. Like, how are you weathering this? Because your job is to be gone and be on the road, you know? So how is it working for you?
The way that this all transpired was we were up in Canada and we were meant to be doing a 10 show east to west coast of Canada. I mean, an unbelievable amount of driving. And we did our first two shows in one in Ottawa and another one in Toronto. And the day of the Toronto show, we knew everything shutting down. I think we were the last concert in Toronto before they went into their no crowds bigger than 250, which I think even the following days they reduced to then 10 people. I think a couple days later after that.
And
So
you
we
guys
knew
are like,
after
we
that
haven't
show-
played to 250 people since a church youth group. So
Oh,
that's
whatever.
way below us.
Yeah, no. But then, so then we just came on home, and we didn't know if it was going to be 2 weeks or how long it was going to be, and so we haven't done a show since. And in a roundabout way, man, it's been really good. The last year was really intense for us, and I actually joked with my wife, Courtney, and said, "Oh man, wouldn't it be amazing at one point? I mean, I'm sure everybody says this or thinks this, but wouldn't it be amazing at some point to take off 6 months?"
Yeah. Be careful.
And
I did that once, and it turned into 2 years.
Yeah.
I
Kind of.
heard that you have actually bought cows. Is that true?
I bought cows. The cows have not yet been delivered, but I have bought cows. And everybody was like, "You're gonna run cattle. You don't have that in your blood at all." And I was like, "I know. That's why I want to try it."
But that's exciting. And that's what this time is for, to discover new
Exactly.
things.
Exactly.
Here's what I love, too, is that, like, you, because things are going to get back to normal for you. You're going to have, like, 50 cows, and then one day you're going to be like, oh, wait, we're back in the music business. I got to leave, and you're going to wave goodbye to your wife, and she's going to be stuck raising 50 cows and a bunch of kids.
Yeah, maybe so.
All right, so we're going to do this. The secret to, okay? Luke, I want you to tell me the secret to being quarantined with multiple kids.
This is what's been very fascinating for specifically our situation. I mean, we already homeschool.
Oh, wow.
And our life is kind of the same other than I'm home more. And so they wake up in the morning and they have book time for a little while. And so everybody kind of gets their books and they pretend as if they're reading books, but just really looking at pictures.
Sure, that's what I
And
do
they do
still.
that for 20, 30 minutes. Then they get into their school and they'll do that for, I mean, it's amazing. With homeschooling, when you've got a first grader, I mean, it's not the most difficult work in the world. And so if they just put their head down and get it done, I mean, an hour and a half or so, and they're finished. It's been a little bit of fun. And obviously not everybody's circumstances are very different during this time. But for us, we're just trying to keep the kids focused. I mean, look, I've had a lot of people. I had a lot of the kids ask me very strange, questions during this time. I had to go. I have ulcerative colitis. I had to go get an infusion yesterday, and the night before, the kids are praying and they're saying, "Hey God, I just don't want Daddy to get the coronavirus."
Oh, wow, yeah.
Other than those types of things, I'm home more. But there's this season of life where they kind of understand, well, Daddy is home a little bit more than usual, and they usually come with. They know that the reason why is because of the coronavirus.
Sure, and you got to have
so
those conversations, yeah. The secret to not looking abnormally tall in photos with other people.
I haven't mastered that one yet. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, because I feel really tiny next to you. I mean, I know I'm not a big man, but I feel tiny next to you. The secret to keeping an Australian accent, even though you've lived in America most of your adult life.
I guess the secret to that is having your entire family be from Australia, so
Okay.
they're all still talking Australian, and those are still, so my dad and my mom. I mean, they were. I think my dad was 42 or something when we moved to America, so his his accent is kind of cemented at that point. I mean, I go back to Australia and people make fun of me. So
Yeah,
you
so
know,
like you call yourself an Aussie, you sound
absolutely,
American. That's funny.
absolutely.
Now, Luke, you guys did something super cool. You did together a Night of Hope, and it was you guys, you and Joel at your place, but then all of your musicians were all at their respective houses, and you were playing a concert, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Like how great it sounded. But where did this idea come from?
So we thought, well, we can't get everybody together because there's Joel and me, and then there's 6 other people that play with us. So just right there with the band, there's 8, and we're meant to reduce this to under 10. So by the time you get some technical guys in here, we weren't going to be able to do this, and we wanted to be respectful of kind of where everybody is in life, and other people in our band got young kids, and so we just were
Sure.
like, what if we were to keep everybody at their homes? How could we actually do this? And so we started talking to some of our technical wizards, and we came up with some ideas on how we could actually do a concert where Joel and I, actually, I'm in the cabin that we filmed right now. Joel and I are here in the cabin with some cameras. And then what if, the band guys are in their respective homes? And is there a way to actually, play a click and play music that is syncing through, the internet through everybody, and we can actually all play together.
I want to play just a little snippet of it. So if someone hasn't seen it yet, it's on YouTube. You can see it. It's really great. But this is what it sounded like.
Oh, hear my prayer tonight, 'cause this is do or die. The time has come to make a choice, and I choose.
That's where we would sing.
That's where you would say. That's right.
Let's sing joy. I choose joy. Like that. Yeah, I mean, I cannot believe how good this sounded, man. It was awesome.
I think for that concert, I think it was good for us to be able to, be in community in that way together for a moment. And I think Joel and I needed that as well, not just for other people, but for us to be able to take some of those phone calls, to be able to reach out. I think we needed it for ourselves, and I think hopefully it was a night that we all felt like, no pun intended, that we were in it together.
Did you guys have any other possible names as you were trying to come up with what this would be like? Did you have like For King and Corona instead of For King and Country? Like, was there any other possible names you threw out?
Certainly not For King and Corona.
Okay, you can have that for the next one.
Not going for that one. No, well, we've got a new song that we've been working on for actually close to 2 years, crazy enough.
Wow.
And that song was called Together, and it will be our next kind of song. And played this song live for a little while. And I looked over at Joel after we had done a Q&A, and somebody referenced this song. Hey, when's this song coming out? Are you going to play it tonight or whatever? And I looked at him. I said, hey, we've been talking about, we're always kind of working on songs, and we're talking about what's kind of the next thing for King and Country. And I said, man, this song for right now, with everything that's going on with coronavirus, not just in America, but around the world, we need to release this song as quickly as possible, just because I think this is what we need to remember in this time. This is happening over in Vietnam. This is
Right.
not happening in Cuba or China. This is happening in the UK. This is happening in Europe. This is happening in America. And we need to feel like we are in this together. If we fall, we're going to fall together. And when we rise, we're going to rise up together.
I had a Christian artist on, and I had a conversation with him, and it made me think of this for you. Like, is there another Christian artist that you love, and you miss getting to hang out with because you're, sequestered just like everybody else?
Well, one of the guys that we toured with relatively recently was Josh Baldwin, and he just become a really good friend. I mean, the thing with artists that is interesting, sometimes artists are particularly artist-like and very creative and not always present, kind of just over here. Well, Josh is, and people might say the same thing about me, but Josh is just a very kind individual. And I just always just enjoyed our friendship. I don't mean this in a negative, but like, he's just a very normal guy.
Sure.
And I like to actually, hang out with people that I feel like, we're just normal people trying to navigate through life.
I want to play something for you with the person that I asked this question to as well. This is a young man by the name of Darren for We Are Messengers, and I want you to hear his answer, okay? Fellow Christian artist that you love.
Luke Smallwood, because he's down to earth. He's a normal, honest bloke, and I think he hasn't got caught up with all of the fame or notoriety.
See, the exact same thing that you like is what Darren from We Are Messengers is saying about you. He's like, he's not caught up in the fame, the notoriety. He's just a good old bloke.
Oh, I do love Darren. It's funny when you actually speak of people like other artists. Darren is just a friend at this point. I don't actually think of him as another artist. We go to church together.
Oh, that's great.
And so we're actually, in each other's, kind of inner circle of community. Sure. So he's a good dude, man. I
he's one of the most honest people you'll ever meet. That's what I love about Darren, man. You ask him a question and you're getting both barrels of honesty.
That's right. You better buckle up, man. You don't know what to get.